High school is an awkward time. I mean, who thought putting hundreds of teenagers together in one building who were exploding with hormones and insecurities was a good idea? To survive, high school teenagers will form into groups. These cliques are based on mutual interests, teams, socioeconomic status, academics, etc., etc., etc. But within the multitude of high school students exists a group of kids who are passionate, confident, quick-witted, and quick-thinking, called improvisers. Improv is a form of theater that has become more and more popular in high schools across America. At its core, improv is a show with no script. Everything that is done on stage is created in the moment by actors. The only structure that exists is built around the kind of game that is being played and audience suggestions. Everything else comes from the actors right then and there. Improv clubs have started to appear all over the nation due to the benefits of participation. Improv is cheap and affordable, and it provides essential skills that prepare high schoolers for a fast-paced, competitive work environment where they have to think and communicate effectively. To understand why improv can benefit high schoolers, we need to explore its roots. Improv first sprung up among the working class. Enter Viola Spolin, seen as one of the founders of what we now know as modern-day improv. According to the book Notable Women in the American Theater, written by Alice M. Robinson, Spolin begins her professional life as a settlement worker in Chicago. This was during the Great Depression when FDR had implemented the New Deal, which was a plan to bring America back to prosperity by rehiring thousands of Americans in public works projects. Some of these projects were dedicated to music and drama. Naturally, being a social worker, Spolin needed any work she could get, so she started working as a supervisor in one of these drama programs. Yet what she discovered was that the students in her class had huge cultural and ethnic barriers. She needed to find a way for everyone to understand the theater training, no matter where they came from or what their situation looked like. Inspired from watching games that rowdy inner-city kids played and her studies in social work, she developed a new way to teach theater. Her new way of teaching revolved around these things called theater games. These games broke down the concepts you would find in a traditional play and allowed for individuals to creatively express themselves without realizing they were acting. To them, it just felt like a game. Whenever a problem arose, she would create a new kind of game to address that certain problem. This idea of breaking down complex ideas of acting and making them easily accessible to people of any skill level became the roots of what modern-day improv is. A man named Paul Sills used these theater games to form one of the first improv groups, Second City. Second City is still performing today and has been extremely successful. If you've ever been to an improv show, you can see these theater games in action. The fact that the roots of improv are based on an all-inclusive method show how improv can reach any teenager no matter their skill, age, or background. And to those teenagers who try it, it tends to teach them lessons and habits that benefit them outside of an acting career. In fact, many successful people got their start in improv. Stephen Colbert started his career at Second City. He spoke of his love for improvisation while giving his graduation speech at Northwest University. He said,
"Now, there are very few rules to improv, but one of the things I was taught early on is that you are not the most important person in the scene. Everybody else is. And if everybody else is more important than you are, you will naturally pay attention to them and serve them. But the good news is you're in the scene too. So hopefully to them, you're the most important person and they will serve you. No one is leading. You're all following the follower, serving the servant. You cannot win improv. And life is an improvisation. You have no idea what's going to happen next, and you are mostly just yanking ideas out of your ass as you go along."
This graduation speech inspired a popular class run by Joesph Holtgrieve called Engineering Improv. What this class strives to do is to help engineering students turn obstacles into opportunities. The principles of improv that make a successful show are the same principles that make an individual successful in their career. The principles include listening, body language, communicating effectively, accepting and building off what others say, and cooperation. Because these principles are the same traits that many employers are looking for, what better way to teach teenagers these essential skills by playing games? There is even research to back up these claims. A study done at the Université de Picardie, Jules Verne, in Amiens, France, studied the effects that improvs had on teens. They tested 35 middle schoolers using an alternative uses task test before and after an 11-week session of improv. What their study showed was that the kids that did improv improved after 11 weeks, while those who did not stayed constant in their originality and flexibility. So not only does improv help teens academically, it also helps them with their mental health. A study at the University of Michigan, led by Peter Felsman, had similar results. They found that teens screened for social phobia showed reduced anxiety after improv training. In their words, adolescents who screened positive for social phobia at the beginning of the class reported reduced symptoms of social anxiety at post-test. This change predicts increases in social skills, hope, creative, self-efficiency, comfort performing for others, and willingness to make mistakes, along with marginal decreases in symptoms of depression. Not trying to bash any professional therapists out there, but it seems that improv may just be a cheaper way to help social ineptness. To some people, improv may seem radical, going on stage with absolutely no preparation and no script. However, in improv, there are no such things as mistakes. In improv, no matter what you say, your partner has to believe it, no matter how wacky or off the wall it may be. In improv, whatever setting you create is the reality. And to this can be comforting to the most anxious of teenagers. In conclusion, high school is awkward, but with a little improvisation, it can improve.